You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African-American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
Hello, my lean and lit lovelies. Welcome back to the Get Lean and Lit with Lindy podcast. I'm happy that you can join me today. So the Get Lean and Lit with Lindy podcast is a podcast specifically for women 40 and older who are basically done with gimmicks, done with foolishness, and they're ready to build muscle, lose fat, and finally feel great in their bodies. That's who I'm targeting. We're trying to do all that without losing our sanity in this crazy world. So we're trying to stay healthy and try to stay sane in the process. So I'm Lindy. I'm your host. I'm host with the most. And today we're talking about a sneaky little villain that might be sabotaging all of your hard work. So listen up. Today I'm talking about cortisol. So I know you've heard of cortisol because it's a very common word that's bounced around, but I'm not quite sure if everybody knows exactly what cortisol is. So we're going to talk about cortisol. It's known as the stress hormone, but trust me, its role in your health goes way beyond just feeling a little bit frazzled. It's way deeper than that. So let me break it down to you in a way that's science-backed, actionable, and I'm going to throw in some real life personal stories for you that you might be able to relate to as well. So that's what we're here to do today. So what is cortisol? What exactly is it? And why should you care about it? That's where we're going to start today. All right. So first things first, cortisol is produced by your adrenal glands. It's triggered by stress. So physical, mental, emotional, and even sugar cravings count to generate stress. Its job is to keep you alive during stressful situations by controlling blood sugar, inflammation, and your metabolism. So in short, cortisol, when it's used correctly and processed correctly by your body, is your friend because you need some of it on board. Because if you're ever in a situation where you have to be like fight or flight, you have to protect yourself, you have to run for your life, any of those things, you need cortisol in order to do those things. But if you have too much cortisol, that's when the problems start. So chronically high cortisol is like having a friend who overstays their welcome. They eat all your snacks, they rearrange your furniture, and they don't want to leave. So that's a problem. So it can really lead to increased belly fat. It can lead to muscle breakdown, which, hello, we work hard for our muscle gains. So we don't want anything breaking our muscles down. It can lead to trouble sleeping, mood swings, brain fog, and cravings, intense cravings for sugar and carbs specifically. So here's the kicker. It doesn't care if your stress comes from work, from your emails, from traffic, from your bad kids running you crazy, or your healthy diet that you force yourself to eat that you don't like at all. I mean, those are all stress triggers. So it doesn't really care about any of those things. So you have to really understand when your cortisol is high, what you need to do to lower it and to keep it low and to keep it at a maintenance level. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to tell you about my friend Nikki that I have known for years and years. And we worked out together. I trained her at one point. Nikki was killing it in her career, like killing it, getting promoted pretty much every year, making a lot of money. She was killing it. But she was also working 60 plus hours a week. She was skipping meals, eating poorly, pretty much subsisting on coffee and caffeine, energy drinks, that sort of thing, and just quick snacks that she could grab. She never really would sit down for a healthy meal. At the time, she was trying to lose fat, but no matter what she did, her belly fat would not budge at all. So she was frustrated because she was working out. Her cortisol was through the roof. So we started to slow things down dramatically, made sure that she was sleeping at least 7 to 8 hours a night, made sure that she was sitting down and eating real meals, not just grab and go or microwave or a sandwich here or whatever there. Real meals that consisted of protein, complex carbohydrates, and healthy fats. All those things are important, and fiber. And she had to step away from her source of stress, which was using her laptop all hours of the night instead of sleeping. She was on her emails like white on rice. She was not letting anything slip, and it was taking its toll. So within a few weeks of making all the changes, her energy levels improved. Her cravings for chips and pretzels and carby things like that dropped significantly. And her body finally started responding to her workouts because she was just putting too much stress on herself. So the moral of the story is chronic stress can literally block fat loss. Even if you think you're eating perfectly or working out perfectly or doing all the right things, drinking your water, if you're chronically stressed, your body is going to focus on how to get you together from that vantage point. Is not worried about fat loss. That falls way down on the priority list for your body. So cortisol and sleep are very tightly linked. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit. Sleep is your secret weapon against high cortisol. It is what it is. A lot of people don't want to take the time to get 7 to 8 to 9 hours of sleep. They want to just exist on a couple hours or, stay up all night watching Netflix and just whatever, doing a whole bunch of different things other than sleeping. And that's not going to work in terms of getting healthier. So sleep is definitely your secret weapon to combat cortisol. So cortisol naturally dips at night so that melatonin can take over so that you can sleep. But if you're staying up late, scrolling on TikTok, on Instagram, posting your pictures on Facebook, working late, or just in general stressing about stuff, that dip doesn't happen. The cortisol just stays high the whole time. So tips to fix your high cortisol. Let's talk about that for a second. One thing is sticking to a bedtime routine. You got to dim your light, no devices 30 to 60 minutes before you actually go to bed. You have to, one thing you can do too is blackout curtains or wear one of those blackout masks if you don't have blackout curtains so that it's super dark in your bedroom. You can bring the temperature down to about 65, 67, which helps too because your body is cooling down, which helps with sleep. You can eat a balanced dinner with protein, healthy fat, and fiber because that control your that combination, that's the trifecta that controls your sugar spikes, which leads to high cortisol. You can also do breath work and meditation. So there's so many apps out there, Calm being one of them, that you can listen to meditations. You can kind of take your mind away from your whatever's going on in your life and just either get into like nature sounds or just think pleasant thoughts or whatever it's going to take for you to kind of bring your central nervous system off of 10 down to like 2 so you can go to sleep. So the next story I want to share with you guys is about a friend that I have named Carla. Now, of course, all these names have been changed to protect the innocent or the guilty, however you want to look at it. But I have a friend named Carla, and she was obsessed with the gym, kind of like me. She was a gym rat. Actually, we met in the gym, but she would train twice a day. That's even beyond me. She would have high intensity everything. Now, I'm good with high intensity. I like a high intensity, but as I've gotten older, I've kind of calmed down from the high intensity every single day and just kind of sprinkle it here and there. But she was all about like high intensity HIIT classes, Orange Theory, just going straight 110% all the time on her workouts. She wanted to lose fat and build muscle, basically. She wanted to look more toned. But her body was basically screaming, I am stressed out with what you're doing to me with your activities. Cortisol was keeping her from building the muscle that she wanted to build. And it was actually making her tired all the time because she was on 10, stressed, and just putting her body through the works. So we got together and talked it through, and we dialed back her intensity. I had to talk her off the ledge. Working out twice a day is wild. I mean, most people don't have time or the energy to do that every single day, taking breaks here and there, maybe a day off here, a day off there. But she was very intent on like not missing a Monday, not missing a leg day, just doing everything, doing too much. So I talked her into dialing back her intensity. She ended up adding 2 recovery days a week. So instead of working out 7 days a week, she would work out 5 days a week. And she prioritized strength building over cardio. And that's important too. She had to come off some of that cardio and build up those muscles. So within about a month to 6 weeks, her progress really accelerated and she actually felt more energized, which is proof that more is not always better when it comes to exercising. Sometimes you just need to have a break. Your body, your brain, everything just needs to have a break. So that was proof to me that sometimes you just got to calm down and just sprinkle in some of the high intensity and not have it be just the heartbeat of your exercises. All right, let's talk about practical ways to keep cortisol in check because I'm all about practicality and building healthy habits. So let's talk about that. Number 1, nutrition. People hate to hear this, but nutrition is the cornerstone of a whole bunch of things that happen in our bodies. But nutrition in terms of eating regular meals, not just snacking and grazing all day, eating protein-rich meals, avoiding sugar spikes, and not skipping meals. Our culture has this thing about fasting all the time, like just long lengths, 24, 48, 72-hour fast, rolling fast, that sort of thing. Your body needs nutrition. I'm not against time-restricted eating if you're doing it in a healthy way. Like if you stop eating 3 hours before going to bed at night, I think that's a healthy way to fast because that usually gives you about 12 to 14 hours before you eat your next meal when you wake up in the morning. There's nothing wrong with that. That's really good, actually. You can sleep better and your body can dip into your fat stores at that point. But if you're doing these long 48-hour fasts, just water fast for 3 days and stuff like that, trying to lose fat, that is eventually going to backfire on you. So stabilizing blood sugar keeps cortisol calmer. Keeps it just at a very neutral level. Number 2, movement. We have to move our bodies. We have to get up off the couch, get up off the lounge chair, just get up. You have to strength train, especially as we get older. We want to preserve our muscle. Muscle is steadily leaving our bodies if we don't signal to our bodies that we need the muscle to stay and to grow and to be there for us. So strength training is great, but don't overdo it. Don't go crazy. Moderate cardio is good. Walking every day, that is excellent, actually. Sprinkling in some higher intensity cardio here and there during the week, maybe once to twice a week is always very good. Yoga is great for reducing cortisol and just really strolling around, walking, moving, doing dishes, cleaning your house, that sort of thing. Movement is always positive. And number 3 is sleep. As I touched on before, it's worth repeating though. Consistent sleep is non-negotiable for so many things in your life. It just is a reset button really for your body at night. Your body can repair itself. Your hormones can get lined up properly, all the things. So sleep is critical. Number 4 is stress management. like I said, breath work, meditation, you can journal, even just 10 minutes of quiet time with no screens, nothing on, just sitting in a room by yourself is amazing in terms of bringing your cortisol levels down. Stress management. And supplements. Adaptogens like ashwagandha have been proven to be very effective in terms of keeping cortisol levels low. Rhodelia is another one that can help. But these things aren't magic, so I kind of have them lower on my list of priorities of things that we can address to keep cortisol down. So they work best if you are already changing your lifestyle. So let's be real about that. Just popping some supplements is not going to do it. You have to actually change your lifestyle, what you're eating, how you're resting, how you're keeping stress at bay. All those things are super critical. So in terms of my own cortisol wake-up call, I'll be honest, my own cortisol levels had gotten out of hand several years ago. I was juggling a new business, a growing family with 3 children, and trying to get in shape and stay in shape. Okay, once you get there, you got to stay there at the same time. So I was exhausted. I was feeling anxious, and my workouts weren't feeling as strong or as good or as beneficial as they usually had been. But once I prioritized my sleep is the foundation for everything. So once I got my sleep together, I started strength training, full body strength training with heavy weights 2 to 3 times a week. I instituted daily walks, nothing stressful, usually after dinner with the kids, sometimes even daily walks. Plus, I learned how to prioritize what was important to me. So saying no without feeling guilty, all those things added together really changed things for me personally. So I started losing fat in the places that I wanted to lose fat in. And my mood started lifting. I started being less stressed out about things, and I felt more in control. So doing all the things that I'm encouraging you guys to do is what I did and what I continue to do to this day. So the moral of the story is that simple changes can make a big difference in your life, especially when it comes to cortisol. So here's your takeaway. Cortisol is powerful, but you can manage it. You can definitely manage it with simple, realistic lifestyle tweaks. None of this is rocket science, but you have to be consistent. You have to set your mind to doing these things and be consistent with it. Better sleep, balanced meals, smart exercise, and stress management. Those are the 4 cornerstones to keeping your high cortisol at bay, keeping it normal. You don't need extreme diets. You don't need endless cardio or magic pills, because none of that in and of itself is going to have an impact. Just simple, everyday health enhancements are what we're talking about here. So consistency, self-awareness, and a lot of self-love is what we're talking about. Remember, getting lean and getting lit, for that matter, is not a sprint. It's a lifestyle. So you start small, you make your changes, you sustain the changes, keep doing them, and watch your body and your energy levels respond. Well, that's all I have for you today, my lovelies. That's a wrap on this episode. So thanks for tuning in to Get Lean and Lit with Lindy. I always appreciate it when you're here. And if you love this info and found it helpful and have a friend that needs to get on board with the program, please share it with a friend and subscribe, leave a review so that others can hear this information as well. So until we meet again, keep it real, keep it consistent, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.
Want to own a home, especially your first? Well then, welcome home to the Old National Bank Down Payment Assistance Program. We're here to help you from start to finish and make getting a mortgage a little easier. Plus, you may be eligible for up to $15,000 to use toward your down payment. How's that for a little easier? Everyone deserves a place to call home and a bank to help get them there. Connect with an Old National mortgage lender to learn more. Old National Bank. Get old in your new home.
When she walked in on her first day at Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas, she didn't know a soul.
I'm Zion, and I'm a second year at DFC.
A year later, and so many changes for Zion.
I love my friends here. I couldn't do anything without them. We support each other all the time.
At Doherty Family College, Zion also finds support on the academic side. Like all DFC students, Zion can count on a team committed to her success. Doherty Family College is Minnesota's affordable private college option. DFC students earn their associate's degree and then can transition to a 4-year college or university for their bachelor's. Many are students of color or first in their family to go to college.
It's nice to see people that look like you pursuing an education, wanting to succeed academically.
Zion encourages any high school student looking for a college home to do what she did and apply to Doherty Family College.
All the support you could need is here.
Ready to make your move and experience Doherty Family College for yourself? Then schedule your visit to the Minneapolis campus at dfc.stthomas.edu/visit.
Hey, it's your girl Shaletta. Are you over there running low on your insulin supply and worried how you're going to pay for it? Minnesota's Insulin Safety Net programs got you covered. If you have less than a 7-day supply of insulin, you can get a 30-day refill for just $35 at any Minnesota pharmacy. Go to mninsulin.org today, print out the application, complete the form, and just take it in to your pharmacy. Go to mninsulin.org.